Everybody has been spamming me this video. WoW players are about to do the dumbest thing ever. That's a good title from Cdank. Everybody has been spamming me this same video, man.
Thousands of WoW players are getting ready to do the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Attempt Burning Crusade on hardcore. A challenge so brutal that Blizzard flat out refuses to make official servers for it. And many players agree.
I don't think hardcore is TBC viable.
I agree with you. I think people saying that are not thinking about it enough.
But for others, they've thought about it plenty. And to them, it seems like the logical next step.
Only things will not happen until we get a TBC hardcore server or a classic plus server.
We find ourselves in a familiar story. The WoW community wants something, and Blizzard says,
"You don't want to do that."
And just like before, the community is responding by making it for themselves with a Burning Crusade hardcore add-on that'll be ready for pre-patch. But what if this time's different? What if Blizzard's actually right, and TBC hardcore is a challenge that we think we want, but actually don't?
All right, hold on, I need to go back here. Bro, look how sick Paladins look in TBC. Oh my gosh, you have like taunts, you have like more buttons, and it's like, ooh. Guys, we might have to resurrect the Pally for TBC. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe? Who knows?
Don't. And on the surface, the skeptics have a point. Heroic dungeons designed to wipe your group, raids with one-shot mechanics that randomly delete people, a soul-crushing grind back to 70. Why would anyone do this? Is this even possible? Well, I've spent the last 8 months obsessed with these questions, and in this video, we're diving into what might be the most brutal experiment ever attempted in WoW history.
Okay, we'll definitely watch this. Great video, great topic. Really cool. We talked about this briefly yesterday, and I want to share a concept. I think it's completely okay for certain things to be community driven and to not be officially backed by Blizzard. I think that's awesome. Community projects, community tournaments, like some of my favorite memories of all time were community things, not Blizzard things, like the OTK Hardcore Makarad tournament, highlight of my career, or one of them. It was a community tournament, right? It's awesome. I think if the community wants this, do it. Nothing is stopping you. That is cool. Should Blizzard officially back this? Probably not. Like right now, probably not. Like it kind of sucks to say, but like, you know, it's probably like a niche of a niche of a niche of a niche of a niche, right? It's like people that like classic that want to move to TBC that also like hardcore that want to do hardcore TBC class. Like it's like, right? It's like super niche down. Should they support it? Probably not. But if it builds enough steam, like Nostalrius, like classic hardcore, right? Like Classic Plus with Seed Stem Discovery, if it builds enough steam and people clearly love this, then for Blizzard to be like, look, we hear you guys. A lot of people clearly want this, right? We'll do this. That makes sense. And that's how it should be, right? Like communities really constantly spin these things up, right? That's how like Dota was made and then League of Legends after that. Like this is normal stuff, right? Communities like kind of push the limits, try new stuff. The devs are kind of like there watching. Everything doesn't need to be always officially supported from day one. And in fact, I would argue it shouldn't be, right? So this is the proper orientation for something like this, right?
Blizzard's official statement is Burning Crusade is too difficult for hardcore. But is it really? Yeah. It all boils down to 3 major obstacles, and we're going to go over each one. Let's start with the biggest roadblock for most people, the leveling. And you know what? Let's just put the numbers on the screen. So Classic 1 to 60 takes about 5 million experience, and Burning Crusade 1 to 70 is over 10 million. It's double the total experience required. But here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. Leveling 1 to 70 in TBC is actually faster than leveling 1 to 60 in Classic. TBC.
So this is something that I was talking to Tactics to about 2 weeks ago. And it actually blew my mind. I didn't know this until a few weeks ago. 1 to 60 is actually slower than 1 to 70 is by a little bit. It's about the same. So one of my criticisms of TBC was like, maybe if you die, you get the checkpoint. It was Soda Poppin's idea, you know, a 60 checkpoint when you die. If this is true and you actually can hit 1 to 70 in about the same amount of time as 1 to 60, then the leveling experience of TBC hardcore would actually kind of make a lot of sense. I didn't actually know this until a few weeks ago. So that's pretty cool.
TBC is running on the patch 2.3 changes, which streamlines 1 to 60 and reduces the EXP that you need by a lot. And the end result is that you're able to skip over a lot of the worst parts of leveling. But I can already hear you thinking, Okay, it's faster, but doesn't that defeat the purpose of hardcore if they just lower the difficulty? And to that, I have 2 points. First, let's be blunt. The challenge in hardcore has always been optional. You were never in any real danger that you didn't volunteer to be in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run out.
There was never anything inherently hard about getting to level 60. I mean, you can equip a full set of auction house gear and get all the way there with nothing but gray quests and green mobs without ever dropping below 50% health. Would it be boring? Absolutely. But that's the whole point. You as the player get to choose how easy or difficult you want it to be. And guess what? In TBC, you can still make those choices. You can impose any psycho challenge you want on yourself. You can do a red quest only run, or turn off your health bars and pretend you have advanced glaucoma. Whatever floats your boat. And that brings me to point 2, which is that Outland is freaking scary even without any of that. The mobs hit harder and the quests often push you into risky situations. I guarantee you people are going to be dying in droves because we've never approached the leveling in Outland from a hardcore lens before. So not everyone knows what's safe and what's secretly really dangerous. But you can if you pick up the RXP TBC Hardcore add-on. I'll have a link below where you can get a discount as soon as it's available. Overall, the leveling isn't any worse than it already is in Classic, and in
Bro, what is this pause frame? Goodness gracious. All right, let's focus up here. All right, we had some comments to make. I paused it at the wrong time. I forgot my train of thought. Okay, the Rested XP plug for the TBC Hardcore. I see what's going on in this video now. I see what's going on, C-Dank, all right? You're not fooling anyone.
Anyways, it seems better. It doesn't take any longer to get to max level, and having a fresh new world of dangerous quests to cut our teeth on is pretty exciting. But that's just the tutorial. Now we get to the real prime rib of the TBC experience, gearing and heroics. The second you ding 70, this game hands you an entire CVS receipt of chores. I mean, just look at this thing. And first up is you gotta replace that crappy green and purple clown suit you found while you were leveling. You also need multiple max professions, plus you need 1,000 gold just for the privilege of flying at the speed of a wet fart. But let's be real. The Priebus grind is the best part of the game. This is that good shit. It's the part of the journey before you hit raid log status where you can still log in every day and actually have something meaningful to do. The problem is, this entire Priebus adventure is just a long, slow walk to your execution.
Heroic dungeons.
These things are no fucking joke, man. DPS pulled aggro for 0.3 seconds, dead. Missed an important interrupt, super dead. This isn't vanilla hardcore where you and your buddies can play like a pack of brain-dead chimps and just whoopsie doodle your way back to town with a couple of Petries. Nah, you're locked into a 60-minute long anxiety attack. The margin for error is microscopic and the consequences are swift. See, Petri still exists, but it got nerfed pretty significantly. It only makes you immune to physical attacks, not magic. So if that pack of mobs you just ninja pulled starts casting fireballs at your petrified ass, you're still gonna get incinerated. So you have to play smart when making a group composition. This isn't that bring the player, not the class, friendship is magic bullshit. This is the Burning Crusade. You bring a good comp or you're gonna have problems. Look, I know people have traumatic, pants-shitting memories of wiping in these places for 4 hours straight, but you gotta remember who you were running with at the time. You were just scraping the bottom of the trade chat barrel, cobbling together whatever group of weirdos replied to your LFM messages first. Your tank was probably a paladin in PvP gear, your healer was some shadow priest who just respect 5 minutes ago, and you had one of these 50,000 useless rogues begging for an invite because nobody else on the planet wants to play with them. And these people definitely weren't showing up flasked up with elixirs and potions and drums and shit. Half the time your priest didn't even bring candles. You and your little band of trade chat misfits were not playing like your life was on the line.
Sorry guys, I am not almost sober smile.
True.
But if people actually prepare, bring a smart comp, and play like they're one mistake away from death, you might be surprised how doable this shit actually is. Let's take a look at what many consider to be the hardest dungeon, Heroic Blood Furnace, a certified wipe fest. Right when you zone in, you got these adept guys who thrash. Just one of these bad boys can hit your tank for like 10k instantly, and if he's not crit immune, he's toast. So what do? You fucking CC one, because you brought CC, right? Then you got these engineers who drop landmines that do an absurd amount of fire damage. 2 of these go off and your mage just evaporates. But guess what? These Giga Fire Protection Potions exist. Everyone just chugs one before the pool as an insurance policy, and bada bing bada boom and the bombs do 0 damage. Throw in a fire resist totem and you're golden. You could even use a target dummy to murder your friends from a distance. Then there's that long ass gauntlet with the nascent fell orcs designed to your healer. But this is where you can use that Petri flask, not to escape, but as a little intermission to give your priest a chance to regen some mana. The point is, all this scary sounding shit isn't an impossible wall, it's just a set of problems waiting to be solved. Look, people said the same thing years ago about vanilla hardcore. Like, oh, it's gonna be impossible.
I feel like this is a semantic thing. No one is saying TBC hardcore is impossible. Not like, it's not impossible. I think what it's like, what a lot of people are implying is it exciting and inviting enough to hit critical mass to create a movement large enough for it to be sustainable for Blizzard to create their own servers? Now that's a different question, completely different question.
It's possible to make a 40-man raid. Everyone will die in the dungeons. And look how that turned out. We're doing Nax with no world buffs
I would
just
say
to
no,
feel something.
right? Yeah.
I think this stuff just looks way scarier than it actually is. Once people take it seriously and start looking for solutions, it becomes doable.
So here's another problem. Like, you don't want too many realms. We've seen this issue talked about more and more the last year, maybe two, that WoW is too many versions. Like, I'm starting WoW. Should I start hardcore? Should I start era? Should I start Annie? Should I start SOD? Should I start MOP? Should I start retail? Should I start Legion Remix? It's like, what the heck is going on? I think, I'll say this. Creating too many instances of the same game, it's a problem. You're fragmenting the player base. Now the hardcore community, which is a small community, is a niche community already, is now fragmented. Should I play TBC hardcore or should I play hardcore, like classic hardcore, right? So what I've suggested is, one, you let it be a community movement, because that's awesome. Community movements are awesome. In fact, maybe even I would check it out. I don't know. Who knows? So maybe it could be fun, okay? You let it be a community movement. That's probably like the right choice. Two, if the community movement is like insanely popular, what you could also do is just add in a checkbox that says hardcore, and you get a Soul of Iron buff that makes it so you can prove that you haven't died. That's what they did in Season of Mastery before hardcore servers. And then three, you could implement a brand new hardcore TBC server with the risk and implications of the things that we talked about before, like fragmenting the player base, having too many instances or versions of the same video game, blah, 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 right? It comes with problems. But like that's probably like the ordering I would take it in, right?
TBC raids are objectively, scientifically, in every way that's measurable, way more demanding than anything in Classic. It's not even a debate. People have to actually play their class correctly. This isn't a 40-man where half the raid can be asleep at the wheel, drooling on their keyboard, and you still somehow stumble ass backwards into killing Ragnaros. No, in TBC, there is way more personal responsibility. We're talking about mechanics where if that one absolute goober in your raid...
Bro, can you imagine a mover on Shade of Iran wipes? Oh my god, griefers, man.
It isn't doing the one simple thing he's supposed to do that week, your entire raid gets obliterated. End of story. This environment means that raid comps are extremely strict. I'm pretty sure if you don't have at least 4 shamans, you just don't get the raid that week. Also, boss damage can be spiky and inconsistent, and feels almost unfair to try to heal through. Then there's Leo and SSC, who forces 5 random people in the raid to go on a personal growth journey mid-fight. If that mechanic hits all 5 of your healers, well then it's probably a good time to start considering alternative strategies. But look, while this is all legitimately concerning, I need to remind you of the early days of Classic Hardcore. People looked at Molten Core, the easiest, most brain-dead raid ever conceived, and they were like, oh my god, it's impossible! They'll never do it. Fast forward a few years and we've dumpstered everything. I mean, we went from can we do it to can we do it blindfolded with a steering wheel controller? But I get it. TBC has mechanics that are just pure bullshit. Fights that literally kill you with no counterplay. Specifically, Asgalore in Hyjal and Terran Gorefiend in Black Temple. These bosses randomly select a few people in your raid who just get to die that week. And there's nothing you can do. I am 100% certain that...
if Blizzard did it officially, they would have to change those mechanics. Kind of like they changed the mechanic in... What's the second boss of BWL? Can't think right now. They changed that one so you could like get an instant hearth out veil. Yeah, they changed the mechanics so hearth is instant. Like you could hearth back to a city and be safe. So they changed it so it works. Like they would have to do something, right?
If official servers ever dropped, that would be one of the first things they removed. But you gotta keep in mind, it's not 2007 anymore. The collective consciousness of gamers has evolved a bit. The gameplay in TBC might be more complex than Classic, which to be fair, my blender has a more complex rotation than most classes in Classic. But TBC is still very simple compared to modern retail standards. Is it difficult to pull off Karazhan and SSC perfectly? Sure. But jingle a bunch of world firsts in front of WoW's sweatiest gamers and they'll figure out how to get it done.
Oh yeah, I mean, I do not doubt it would happen. For sure. World first hardcore Karazhan? I mean, yeah. Absolutely. 100% it would happen. What footage is this from? Nipopon. Oh yeah, this is from TBC. Yeah.
So I guess in summary, what I mean is that if there's anything we've learned over the years, it's that difficult does not mean impossible. Unless we're talking about Sunwell. And to that I say, let's just cross that bridge when we get there. So we spent this video asking if TBC hardcore is viable.
That's good.
But maybe that's the wrong question. The real question isn't can they do it, it's why would we try? See, what makes hardcore special, at least to me, isn't its difficulty. It's that it pulls you into the present moment.
Yeah,
The fear of losing everything.
I agree.
The panic you feel when a bad pull goes sideways. It demands your attention. It brings you right here. Vanilla hardcore gave us that for a while. It forced us to slow down and made us feel like noobs again. But we solved that puzzle. We've figured it out and optimized it. But once a path is known, the thrill fades, and what once felt like a terrifying risk becomes...
Like that's why I've been really enjoying Ultra, right? And there's more settings that Ultra is putting on, like no map, no unless you're in a city and stuff like that. So like basically they're all designed to do the same thing. And it's just what C-Dank just said. Force you into the present moment. Like you're just there, right? Yeah, but like he said, the more you do it, the more it like becomes less novel, right?
That's because our brains have this deep fundamental need for novelty. So TBC comes along and gives us this brand new puzzle, and we don't even know if the pieces fit together. And it's in this chaos of uncertainty that lies the potential for discovery. See, this isn't about nostalgia. We're not chasing the past. If anything, we're chasing the present. We're actively choosing an experience that yanks our brains deeply into the moment. We're still lucky enough to have moments to live. And that, my friends, is a journey worth risking everything for.
Nice.
See you in Outland.
Guys, that was a really good video by C-Dank. We have got to slap that subscribe button. Very good idea, well thought out. His last video is 3 years ago. Interesting. So I wonder if C-Dank's gonna start making like that was a good video. Like really, really well done from C-Dank. So C-Dank, great vid. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I already said a lot of them. I think a TBC hardcore community movement is awesome. Read his pinned comment. Okay, you're not the first person to say that. Correction, Petri still works on both magic and physical. The big nerf is the fact that it can't be canceled. Effectively hard ceasing you for 60 seconds. Getting a Petri on the server I was playing on was quite difficult, so testing was limited. I wanted to make sure I put this info up correct. I'll do a better job going forward. As penance, here's a piece of info that wasn't in the vid. Lips no longer make you invincible, so no more lip taunt cheese. Thanks for watching. Cool. All right. That's good. Good clarification. Static Shock, thanks for the prime. Community driven is even more hype. There are things that work better as community projects than they do as official launches, right? Community tournaments, community driven ideas and projects, community like hardcore as the community project was another level of hype. Like it's how it works, man. So I think that TBC hardcore as a community project sounds sweet. I would even think about it myself. No promises. When does TBC launch? Like February, probably January, February, probably something like that. When TBC launches, I want to level a normal character first. I want to hit 70. I want to raid with you guys. I want to clear Kara Gruel's mags. I want to have a good time, right? And then I think Midnight comes out. So we'll probably do like normal TBC into Midnight. We'll definitely go hard on Midnight for a while. Then maybe mid next year would be good timing for like a community TBC. No promises, but maybe like mid next year. Well, you know, that it sounds like it could be fun, right? Sounds like it could be fun. Yeah. Great video, nonetheless, by C-Dank. He brought up some good stuff. I think all of it has some like pretty big counterpoints, but still. Reality is 80% and won't do the 70 rating content, or like more, like 95, 98% won't do the rating content. That's how it is in classic hardcore. Most people hit 60 and quit. It was all about hitting 60. So you could make a real argument that like TBC hardcore would be very fun, literally just going 1 to 70, hitting 70 and being like, I did it, and then quitting, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You gonna grind arena? Nah, we did that last time. We'll do the PvE this time. Hardcore is not about rating at all. I mean, for some people it is, but for the majority it's not, I would say. 1 to 70 in TBC, yeah, I mean, from 60 to 70 in Outlands, it'll be rough. Quitting after you get to the good part is wild. I would say the majority of people would argue the good part in Classic WoW is the leveling, right? Like the majority, not everyone. Everyone has their own opinions.